I finally uses Lola to deal with Kitty, but look at Ezra's stats, he's already too late. The giant bonus completely neutralizes remaining pressure. Hi YouTube, I'm finally back after 1 month away from Lost Goddess, and while the meta has not been completely transformed, one major change has altered the way every match feels. Commanders now have much more high speed. They are harder to burst, game lasts longer, and the commanders who already love slow matches have benefits the most. Lavonne and Bernice. Today we are going to analyze the current top ladder meta, examine the commander distribution among the top 50 Grandmaster, and understand why Julie created a slower and more defensive game. We will also look at the arrival of Justina, the impact of Maddie, and two very different high-level compositions that show how Lavonne can now be played. I took this short break to focus on other things, especially the Pokemon TCG, which has taken a lot of my energy recently. And by the way, if you would enjoy Pokemon content too, such as deck analysis, collection video or pack openings, let me know in the comments. But today, we are officially back on Lost Goddess. Let's see what changed during July. This is the second time I've seen this kind of change in Lost Goddess, and the reason is always the same. Aggro are taking over the meta. Instead of nerfing off the roster, the developers increase commander HP across the board, and honestly, that's the smarter solution. Game lasts longer, strategy matters more, and slower composition finally have time to come online. The only problem is Lucy's room. With even more HP available, the GM bonus is becoming completely ridiculous. Overall, I think this is a great change for the game. Aggro is weaker without being destroyed and new strategies can finally emerge. But the real test will come after the summer break, when players return and the next competitive season truly begins. The first new mercenary released this month is Justina, and honestly, she is absolutely insane. She is an incredible defensive tool, with a body that is very hard to get through. But what really makes her special is the fact that she gives barrier to your commander. That means she shuts down direct damage, and the result, she forces the game back onto the board. You actually have to fight. She is a direct answer to Helen, Desiree, and of course Bernice, but she also helps against Lavonne's finisher, which makes her even more valuable. For me, this is going to be one of the must-play units for the season, and when you look at her overall design, just like Bernice and Lavonne, you can really feel that this is a new generation of unit design in Lost Goddess for the 26-27 season. Next, we have the new mercenary currently available, Maddie. Maddie is a rare engine for Bernice. She helps her fight through Justina, pressure Lavonne, and she can completely swing the mirror matchup. Her relation 20 also looks absolutely insane. Personally, that is going to be my main focus with her. So yes, unlock Maddie. She is going to have a major impact on the game, and people should not sleep on her. Justina is a unit that answers the current meta, but Maddie is different. Maddie is going to move the meta. After everything that happened in July, Bernice still represents more than half of the Grandmaster ladder. That is absolutely insane. Right now, Bernice is the queen of Lost Goddess, and the numbers prove it. Lavonne is clearly present, but she is still not strong enough to take the crown. And honestly, Lavonne is never fun to face, no matter which commander we play, because mechanically some matchups feel almost like automatic wins for her. Paige is still represented too, but only by a very small number of players. She is not the obvious choice in the meta, but that does not mean she is useless. This Wednesday, Paige returns to the channel, and I'm going to show you why she is still far from dead. There is no Lost Goddess video without a team comp and some gameplay, even though I only came back exactly 1 week ago. So let me introduce you to Marco's Bernice comp. Marco is currently top 15 world, and the most beautiful part is how accessible this lineup is. He plays it without any relation 20 skin. So yes, Bernice can't reach the top 15 without relation 20. That is huge. I love it. This is the original build philosophy trophy. Not Cinta, no Sky, no plan to drag the match into the late game. The comp is here to win fast and I play ridiculous pressure. The goal is to threaten lethal before Bernice's final skill, forcing the opponent to use Cinta, Justina or Sky too early just to survive. And once all those defensive answers are gone, Bernice still has a strongest skill ready to finish the job. Esther and Agwan are your dream opening. They immediately create pressure and force the opponent to react. A river trigger as much burn as possible, as quickly as possible, while making it extremely difficult for the opponent to develop their board. Nona and Salma are mainly here for the Bernice mirror. Regina and Natasha give the comp the multi-hit pressure it needs against Lavonne. And Awakne become terrifying whenever you activate Bernice's second skill. I'm going to show you this comp in action now. Trust me, it is terrifying even without the skins. And with the relation 20 bonuses, I don't even want to imagine it. Game 1, Bernice versus Bernice. My opening hand is not perfect. Salma, Awakne, Weaver and Regina. Going first in the mirror, this is not really what I want to see. I briefly consider keeping Salma because of the control she provides, but I send Awakne back into the rotation. She is much more valuable later if I need her. My opponent answers with Lucretia, and Wadeta is very important here. She has flying. That means I can deploy Regina without triggering resistance. My opponent immediately activates Bernice's first skill. Even at full health, the pressure is already so high that he is forced to start contesting the board. He then moves into a control setup with Tora, but honestly, he is not ready for what is about to happen. I activate skill 1 and clear the board. At this point, the game is basically already over. I am too far ahead. I consider playing Wyver, but Natasha into Tora is perfect here. Regina is already set up, and I have around 1000 HP over advantage. My opponent surrenders, and honestly, he has no choice. Next turn was skill 2 into Salma, and that was game over. Now let me introduce ShieldWall Lavonne comp. He is currently ranked top 36 in the world. What makes this leader special is that it goes all in on Pacifier scaling with Kitty and Kira as the main engine. And remember, Kira was buffed last month, so she fits the strategy even better now. This comp is built to make the game last. You survive, stack protection, scale your carries, and slowly suffocate the opponent until they simply run out of answer. Honestly, there is not much mystery here. It is pure Pacifier synergy, and Lavonne is almost perfect at making it work. I would even say this shell feels stronger with Lavonne than with Paige. So if you love Pacifiers, you should definitely try it. It is extremely fun to play. Fun to face? Absolutely not. But I had a great time testing it, and now I'm going to show you what I can do on the ladder. Trust me, this comp is seriously strong. Game 2, Lavonne versus Bernice. I'm going second, and my opening hand is Natasha, Kira, Hilda and Esther. This is a very solid start. I can answer almost anything. My opponent opens with Natasha to apply immediate pressure, but I'm not worried. I respond with Kira, because every time those units die, she starts squealing for barrier. He is forced to answer with Lola because Kira is already becoming at royal threat. I play Natasha next. Lola can snowball the game extremely quickly, so I want to remove her before that happens. He activates Bernice's skill 1, which makes perfect sense, and they play Grace to punch more damage. He has no choice here. Against this composition, he needs to kill me through raw pressure before my scaling takes over. I deploy Esther to remove Grace. Remember, my objective is not to race him. My objective is to bury time his scale. He answers with Kirsten, probably hoping to rival the suppression onto Esther. I'm not taking that unnecessary risk. I remove Kirsten, play Kitty, and the royal scaling engine begins. He activates skill 2, and from his perspective, Kitty knows how to die immediately. He follows with Mitsuko trying to swarm the board and maximize his multi-hit pressure. I answer Yumiko, removing the belt for both Kitty and Esper. I finally use his dollar to deal with Kitty, but look at Esfer's stats, he's already too late. The giant boon is completely neutralized his remaining pressure. And Esper closed the game. That is exactly what this Lavonne Cub want to do. Survive the early aggression, scale being protection, and eventually become impossible to stop. To conclude this video and our July meta review, Barrier has clearly become a new standard in the meta. The commander HP increase is already creating room for new strategies, new scaling comps and longer games. But aggression is not gone. Bernice is still here and she is still dominating. Over time, I think this extra HP will help the game move toward a more diverse meta. But the real test will come in September, when players return and the next competitive season truly begins. Before we finish, I want to thank all of you. We have now reached 50 subscribers. Even while I was away, the channel continued to grow, and that means a lot to me. I will be present throughout August, so this comeback is only the beginning. And once again, I'm sorry for disappearing for a month. I simply needed a break from the game, and the summer holiday was the best moment to take one. If you watch the video until the end, today's secret password is Maddie. This break also gave me time to think about new type of content for the channel. They may not all arrive during August, but starting in September we are going to try some new things. Thank you again for your support, and never forget, the best composition is not the one that is meta, it's the one you master.